Welcome to the Auto Build Series. We spun a wheel and Destiny chose all of the car parts that we're gonna put on this car, from a $300 turbo to a 500 horsepower target that we need to hit by the end of wintertime. Today, we're gonna start the build. So, the first thing on the list is that truck bed conversion. And as you see, the car is behind me. We are gonna cut off the back half of the car today, and we are gonna start fabricating our truck bed. But first, we need to go get our stock horsepower numbers. So come with me, let's go to my buddy's shop, Revolution Performance, and get a baseline.
So we packed up the Audi and headed down to Canton, Ohio to meet up with my friend Mike. We used to work together at ECS Tuning, but now he's got this entire race shop that he built, and they do everything from Japanese, exotics, imports. I mean, literally, full engine builds, full race car builds, whatever you could dream of, Revolution Performance can handle it. So check them out on Instagram and reach out if you need work done. We hopped on their Mustang all-wheel drive dyno, and if you're not familiar with these, they read very true. And we put the Audi in all-wheel drive mode. We locked the front and rear rollers. That way, as we did our dyno pulls, we could get true all-wheel drive horsepower. Now, on this first run, things didn't go too great. It was kind of sputtering. It didn't like the dyno. Wastegate controller wasn't functioning properly. We had little to no oxygen sensor activity. So I'm very thankful that we got on the dyno to find these problems, and we were able to get one really good dyno run.
Well, the results are in. We made 208 all-wheel drive horsepower and 260 pound-foot of torque on a Mustang dynamometer. I'm shocked we broke 200 horsepower. It did help us identify two main issues. One of them is both oxygen sensors aren't properly functioning. There was little to no activity on them when we hooked up to VAGCOM. Then also we noticed an overboost condition. The wastegate solenoid isn't properly functioning either, and we're actually running lean. So in mid RPM, around like 3,500 to 4,500 RPMs, our AFRs are around 13 to 13.5.1, which is pretty lean for a car running 15 pounds of boost. So we're gonna get those things fixed. But before we do all that, we've got some mods we need to get off the car. We've got 1,000 linear feet of Christmas lights and an entire flamethrower exhaust system to get off the car. So let's get to work.
And this is the circle of life of owning a car and modifying it for a YouTube channel. You build a flamethrower exhaust one week, and the next week you cut the car in half so you can build a truck. Either way, this was just such a fun project to work on, and it just shows the versatility of this Audi TT and what we can do with it. And we can really just kind of hack away at it. I mean, we built this entire car, so it's not, we don't have to worry about making scratches or removing main components or worried about keeping the integrity of the Audi TT spirit. It literally is our playground to burn metal, create new things, and just have fun.
1,000 feet of lighting. Beep, beep. Okay, so we got all of the LED stripping off, and the goobers are way worse than I thought they would be. Look at all the glue residue left over. I'm so glad that we're redoing this car because, oh my gosh, look at all of that glue all the way down the car. Now that the lights are off and the flamethrower is gone, it's time to start chopping up the back end. So I'm gonna try to make a bunch of cuts, and we're gonna see if we can get this entire section of the back of the car to just come up and straight back and lay it on the ground behind it.
So after I got a fire blanket out and covered my seats, I got the plasma cutter working, tried to get as much material off of these bars as possible right on the other side of the weld joints. This did kind of take a while, but I tell you what, the plasma cutter is such a good tool in your arsenal. If you don't have one of these, definitely go buy one. I think I got this on Amazon for $150. Runs on a standard wall outlet. Well worth every penny I spend.
I figured these rods can hold up a garage door. They can hold up 80 more pounds for this roll cage. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, come on. Woo! Oh! Oh, my strap fell off. Oh boy. Oh God. Huh. Well, I didn't think that through. Bring it to the ground, baby. Oh. Look at that. We did it. We cut the back half of the car off. Oh, she looks so naked.
Now it's time to get the rest of this material off. I had to chop it off, break down the big pieces I took off, and make it easier to transport to the scrapyard. So once those were folded up, it's time for me to grind the welds, get the car cleaned up, and get it ready for all these new materials. Now it's time to pull out some tools and get the first stick of metal ready to get chopped and put onto the car. These will eventually turn into the bed rails, so I'm starting at the top rail and I'll work my way down on the car.
So right now I'm trying to debate on how long I want to make these tubes right here, basically the tailgate coming down. And I think what I'm going to do is, I don't know exactly how high or low I want the bumper yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make this about 30 inches right here. And basically it almost comes all the way to the ground. All right, so we've got the fuel tank mounted in here. Right now it's just kind of free floating, and I built some bracketry to go around it. This is angle iron, so the wood flooring is going to sit up and rest right here on the angle iron. It's just going to be the stopper and where it'll bolt to. And this is nice that we've got a fuel cap located on the far right hand side. So when you're standing on the passenger side of the car, you have easy access to fill it up. And the fuel pump will kind of come somewhere over here. Maybe I'll run the fuel pump over here on the side. This is probably where the battery is going to go as well. But we're looking good. I think we're ready to start putting some flooring down. So let's cut some boards.
After a quick trip to my local Menards, I picked up these 2x6 cedar planks. They were fairly low cost. I think they were $8 each. Got them cut and measured. They dropped in pretty quick. I just laid them up on the metal, used a marker to see how long they needed to be, and tied it around the fuel tank. As you can see, the cedar truck bed is in, and it looks and smells phenomenal. We'll eventually clear coat this and make it look, give it a protective coating. But the next trucky thing we need to do is put a trailer hitch in. So I took my $30 trailer hitch receiver and I started measuring for a new tube to connect the left and the right bed rails. This is a 1/4 inch wall thick tube, which is thicker than the rest of the vehicle, and that's just to make sure that we have the extra strength from towing. So once I kind of got it measured in, I did a little test fit on the hitch to make sure it wasn't hitting anything, and sure enough, this metal was in the way. So after doing a little bit of manipulating, I painted all the welds and I removed the mill scale on the car to make sure I had a strong weld. Little test fit, got it tacked into place, and I was ready to start adding more bars.
We've got the receiver in. I've got this bar fully welded in. That one is tacked in. The next things we need to do is we need to add a support that goes from this top bar down to here. We also need to put in a bar that goes from here to that plate. And then we also need to go from this bar to the receiver to make sure we have some good stability left and right. And I would be lying to you if I said I knew exactly what I was doing here, but I do know I need to make this hitch receiver as strong as possible so we can tow a garden trailer and some other light duty items. That is a finished trailer hitch. Let's take a look. We've got the hitch receiver installed. Everything's welded together. We're welded into the unibody frame into like a really big chunk of metal behind this. This isn't just soft, this is very structural right here. So plate welded on. We're tied into these vertical beams, triangulated into here into this tube, which is a thicker material. And then we're triangulated to the hitch. So everything's looking good. And we got in these pull pin locks. So now, boom, tailgate opens wide open. We'll eventually add those straps there to keep it going to 90 degrees, but watch this. Perfect. Minimal play. Once it's on there nice and tight, you can jump up and down. And then these are just welded on the bottom side there. So I don't know if you can see, there's welds on the bottom, and these just pull. And once you pull them, the tailgate opens up. But again, the cool thing is I got some pins that are just softer in general. So when I pull it up, it automatically pushes the pins in and it locates on the hole. That, my friends, is a finished truck bed conversion. So as always, like, subscribe, share, and thanks for watching.